Good afternoon. My name is Jonas Kojo-Boateng, journalist and a lecturer in communication at the Ghana Institute of Journalism in Accra. Unfortunately, since this is Africa, I don't have a map. I am sure that everybody should know where Ghana is. If you don't know, you can see me later. But we have an extensive talk on this on Friday at 11. So if you want to have much more information on this project, you can come to the session on Friday. But the project is entitled Social Media and Journalism. And basically, this is the broad aim. As you read it, I'm going to give you two short scenarios as to why this project started. This may be a lie, but it illustrates the point I want to make. First, our school, Ghana Institute of Journalism, is the leading institute that trains journalism or journalists in Africa. We've had many students from our school serving with ministers and as ministers of information around the world. During the Namibian struggle, some of my classmates, that was about 30 years ago, were also there, and they became ministers. We trained people for ANC and so on. So it's quite an international school. We'll be 50 years in October. And we are facing a threat. This threat comes from the fact that these days, anybody with this kind of phone, Nokia N95, 8 GB, can become a journalist. If you often watch CNN report, the I stands for I can report. So our job as journalists is becoming threatened. And how do we then prepare our students to move ahead of everybody, the I in the report? Then two, most of our students now have what we call laptops. Our university has recently been described as a laptop university. About 70% of the students have or own a laptop. So whilst as a lecturer you are sitting in class lecturing, they would be assessing whatever you are lecturing from wherever. So you as a lecturer, you have a challenge as to teach these students. So looking at that scenario, it came to mind that we as lecturers need to move ahead. We need to go ahead of the students, try to know what they know, and try to change the traditional way of teaching to accommodate the way they like to learn. Then the second aspect of the second scenario I'd like to use to illustrate my point is this. I had a student, a lady student, who is also a journalist. She went on internship. She came back and was narrating a story to me. She covered an assignment with a minister, which is normally what we journalists do, follow the ministers around. Fortunately or unfortunately, there was a fire in a cocoa shed, a big cocoa shed. And she called her office to bring a cameraman because she didn't have a camera then. And she was proud of this. Then I asked her, do you have a mobile phone? She said, yes. I said, can I see your mobile phone? I looked on it. In the gallery, there was a picture of her boyfriend. Then how did you take this picture onto your phone? And she said, I used the camera on the phone. So, oh, so you couldn't use the phone to take a picture of the fire? Do you see how much you lose with this kind? And in Ghana, the leading newspaper pays for any picture that you submit to them as much as $200. So you have lost money. And based on this, last year I met Margaret of MKFC Stockholm by chance at the Accra, this e-learning at the Accra conference. And through discussions we came up with the idea that they could help train the lecturers to meet the changing demands of the profession. And we put together some proposal and decided to carry this project out on a pilot basis to test whether it is feasible to carry out this project and then later replicate it in other schools or in other African countries. Fortunately, as she told me about a year ago, this project may be the first of its kind in Africa. That we, GIG, are the leading university to train lecturers, not journalists, but lecturers, to be prepared for e-learning and distant learning in the very near future. So we started with 10 lecturers from each department. I should say that we have been meeting a lot of challenges. I will explain this further on Friday, but some of the challenges briefly is that up to now, only 6 lecturers are active participants in the project. The other 4 are meeting some attitudinal problems, and then also the fact that they lack ICT skills. And it's creating a bit of a problem for the project to progress. Basically, we are having the project online. We are using the EduLink LMS, and that is also another roadblock to the progress of the project. But still, we are moving on. We are doing what we can. Our facilitators come from MKFC. They give us technical support, and also the project tutors come from MKFC in Stockholm. We never meet them. We try to use all the other tools, Skyping and so on. But again, like everywhere in Africa, power cuts, slow internet connections, less bandwidth, and so on. So we decide that we better move off and use the EduLink without the Skype and so on. But the project is still going on. Initially, we proposed to have a 4-month pilot starting from September, ending in December, as of last year. As of this year, we are still on. The project started late because, again, stumbling blocks. But they don't put a stop to our ambition to carry on the project. And we are now tackling 4 or 5 unit courses. The broad theme of the course, as I said, is social media. I do not want to go into the definition of social media because I should admit I'm not well prepared to define it here. I can do that better on Friday, so please, you can let me off today. But we are in social media and journalism. And the first unit of the course was ICT in education, by preparing us to know how ICT can be incorporated in teaching and learning. And then also by making us aware that the role of a lecturer has changed from being a teacher. If you are going to use ICT in education, and especially in virtual learning, the role of a teacher should not be the traditional form of lecture giving, but as a facilitator in active learning. So MKFC is preparing us to change the role of a teacher into an active or a facilitator in promoting learning for the students. Then the second unit is introduction to the new media. Most of us teachers do not use the new media for research. It is through this program that a lot of our teachers have been able to know that Wikipedia is also a library for research, or other forms, blogging and so on. So we are learning something new. Then we have looked, our last month we looked at the ICT in education in Africa, how ICT is helping other countries in Africa and then in Europe. How e-learning is changing the face of learning and teaching in Europe as compared to the experiences in Africa. The 4th unit, I should admit again that this 4th unit I am supposed to submit my assignment by tomorrow, but I have not tackled it at all. It involves the use of mobile technology in journalism. I was just watching the media men here, and I realized that none of them are using their mobile phones for taking pictures or even recording what we have been saying here, even though they have the capacity and the ability to record as much. So it means that we are underutilizing a great potential as a mobile phone. This has 8 gigabytes, as much memory as our head can contain, but we fail to use it. So somehow it is somehow fruitful for lecturers to be prepared to meet the challenge, and also to encourage students to also see how they can use the mobile phone, mobile technology in journalism. I'll be talking more on, or I'll be available at the back to demonstrate some of what we have done so far with the mobile phone, and then also how some of our lecturers have motivated students to, for the first time, create blogs and put in their ideas and assignments. So I will be behind there after the coffee break.